Hi, Fabian. Hi, Cubano and Arushi. What do you have there, Mickey? Is that your meditation stone? So when you travel again, you can take it with you, and you will be all set to be a Zen practitioner. This Mickey here at the temple, who is the best Italian gypsy I've ever met, to be honest. Uh, only three. Yeah, only three. Well, oh, I should have. That's not the best Italian gypsy named Mickey I ever met in my life.
Good evening, Bante. This is Derek. I was wondering if I could ask a question of you before we started.
Yeah, go ahead, Derek.
Um, I, without getting into too much detail, I been diagnosed with some mental illness,
Yeah.
and I was wondering if you had any uh, observations or maybe some advice you might offer in terms of dealing with that in terms of meditation.
Yeah, so when we have a mental situation, right? We've got sort of a more serious condition. I sometimes say that people who don't have cancer, you don't take chemotherapy, right? It's not necessary. Hi there, Chesh. Nice to see you. Okay. So, if we have this more serious suffering, well, we have more responsibility, and there's no two ways to go about that. If we get involved in a skillful way, then we can do a lot to heal that suffering. Um, you want to avoid an overt belief in I have mental illness or I have this condition. You should be very aware of the situation. You shouldn't bypass it in any way. But to be in this kind of devotional state of belief that, I am schizophrenic, or I am depressed, or I have anxiety disorder, you have some experiences, and you should be very clear about what those experiences are, and you should be very practical in managing them. But my experience has been that with unskillful behavior, there's an unskillful result. So if I'm living very unskillfully, if I'm isolated, if I'm drinking and smoking and self-medicating, and I'm not around good people, and I am lost and I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just kind of pitter-pattering around in unskillfulness, I get sick one way or another. And if I have a predisposition towards sickness, I get even more sick than the average person would. So there's this kind of higher responsibility that you have. So I think that there's a lot of healing that can be done in this path. Um, and it's basically threefold. It's morality, samadhi, or meditation, kind of this, you connect with peace, you connect with stillness. It's not just the mind's crazy all the time, but oh my goodness, there's a stillness, there's a openness, there's calmness, and then the wisdom or the insight into the nature of the mind. So you don't need to rely on superficial experiences that you have. You can rely on an insight into the fundamental nature of how the mind operates. So even if you've got an elf, you see an elf, that talks to you and says nice things or mean things, well, that elf is impermanent. It doesn't matter what that elf does, it's going to be impermanent. And so if we relate to it in that way, it can change. We don't feed it. We don't get into this state of fighting with illusion, fighting with something that doesn't need to be fought with. Now, the foundation of all this is morality and starting to prioritize doing good deeds and living skillfully. That is, living according to the precepts, looking into precepts, looking into uh, emphasizing living with virtue, living with goodness, and to establish yourself in that. Um, and there's also environmental factors to consider. So, like I said, if you don't have cancer, you're not looking around for a cancer doctor. You're not looking for the best chemotherapy program. But if you have a mental condition, a serious condition of suffering, you need to be willing to try um, to deal with that in a skillful way. So, that's where I got started in my path. Was I had a lot of suffering and I had a lot of mental disturbance and unskillful living. And for me, it was being a part of a community that was wholesome and living in that community, practicing meditation, and connecting with teachings. But if you just make meditation a part of your life, make morality, virtue, goodness a part of your life, and then you seek it out, you keep taking steps towards that, um, then there's a lot that you can do. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you go off of your medication or you try to, if you're on it, or you try to fast, try to fast until your disease goes away, but more so that you get involved more and more in taking care of yourself in a contemplative, comprehensive way. And there's a lot of healing that can be done if you do that, if you approach that. And there's a lot of different places in the world, there's a lot of different avenues. So if you find that you have serious mental health issues and you're trying a lot of different stuff and nothing's working, maybe living in a small apartment in the city and working at McDonald's is not going to work out. That's not the way you're going to heal yourself. So we have to be very kind of, well, there's different things that we can try and different things that we can do. But if we establish ourselves in goodness, in virtue, and in a deep intention to practice, to be present with our life, then more doors open. Because a person that is full of goodness is welcome in so many places, even if they're sick. Whereas a person that is sick and is generally unskillful and generally not prioritizing wholesomeness, it's difficult to accommodate them in any particular place. So that's some of what I can offer, but don't be hopeless. And there's a lot of different experiences in the world, so you try and you experiment and you can make progress for sure.
Thank you, Bante. I don't want to hold up the meditation, but maybe I can offer a response to what you said in a private message
Well, you can
after the
say it.
meditation.
It's all right if you want to say something here before we start. It's all right.
Okay, I'll keep it brief, but mainly in response to what you were saying, I feel I'm absorbing the message, and even though I've probably just said five eyes, um, and there are situations in my life that are through no fault of my own, but based on my means and otherwise, that put me in somewhat of an isolated and some maybe unskillful in that um, there are things that I haven't figured out a way to avoid yet, just financially and things like that. But I do try to manage my mental illness as best I can using, not only meditation, but Western health methods as well, medication, things like that. Um, but I appreciate what you said, and I appreciate that idea of um, doing best to live skillfully. Um, I do have some experience with Buddhism before this, before joining the Sangha. But I will say too, part of me trying to live skillfully is making the Sangha a bigger part of my life when it's not practical for me to really seek out any ways of relieving myself from isolation otherwise. So thank you, Bante.
You're welcome. And, this is a good place. We have a lot of good people here with a lot of good intentions. So it's a good place to be. It's a good place to reach out for help. And as we grow more and more, and as this community develops more and more, then there will be, more opportunities for support, and more opportunities for living in different ways. You know, if everyone showed up here, if everyone in this group call right now showed up here in southern Italy tomorrow, well, you're going to be fed, you're going to have a fire, you're going to have some nice people to stay with. So, but is that the answer to everyone? No. It sounds nice, but it's cold. But it is pretty nice as well. So, there's a lot of opportunities, and if we really find that what we are doing is not working, we try something else, to experiment. And the more that we establish ourselves in goodness, in virtue, and also to have this kind of relationship with ourselves from a place of peace and calmness, then those different doors aren't, the end of the world. But it's a opportunity to try out something new, and then if that doesn't work out, you can try out something else. Um, so yeah, stay around. I think it's a good idea, and I will be staying around as much as I can, as much as my mind can be peaceful and aware and somewhat helpful. Then I'll be around, so we can continue together. All right. So the title of this evening's practice is Evening Zen Meditation by the Fire. That's on Discord, and on YouTube, The Warmth of Zen Evening Meditation by the Fire. So there's going to be some Zen tonight. What is Zen? Um, it's a ginger tea. So yeah, we can go ahead and find our meditation position so we can get comfortable. So finding that comfortable, stable place, not only in our body, but also in our mind. So we recognize that this is a safe space. We recognize that this is as much as is possible, a protected space, and that we can feel free to be calm, to be settled, and to be open at this moment. We don't need to be closed off or contracted in any way, but that we're all welcome here and that we are here to cooperate together. And we rely on unconditional awareness and detachment, not to get fixated, not to get stuck on any particular one thing as our balancing point of cooperation. So our mind feeling comfortable and relaxed, and our body also finding a stable, comfortable position. Not perfect, perhaps, but also not painful, just comfortable and stable. We can close our eyes and begin to become aware that the breath is happening. Become aware that the breath is flowing in and flowing out. And both that the process of breathing is not judging us, and that there's no need to judge the process of breathing, but just allow the breath to happen, allowing breathing to take place without friction. So the breath becoming this safe happening, this clear and present happening. Moving from the idea of breathing, the idea of our breath, to the real lived experience of it at this moment. The breath finding a natural rhythm. The breath finding a natural deepening, a natural richness inside of ourselves. Each breath a kind of opening up to what is happening right now. As the breath begins to find a natural rhythm, simple and calming, we can become aware of the body sitting here. The whole body sitting here at this moment. The experience of that whole body sitting here is going to be a bit different for each of us. The experience of it. But we can recognize that the body is here, not some other place, not some other time. That we are fully aware and with the body at this moment through our practice of breathing. Allowing gravity to do its work so the body settles more and more. Feeling connected to the ground and the present. The present breathing and being aware of the body. Such a major part of our practice is just to refresh and restart. Sometimes the breath gets caught in knots, or the mind gets caught in knots. We fall asleep, we wake up. And just at that moment to refresh and restart. To be okay with starting at the beginning. To be okay with realizing, stepping into this heart, this moment, this life. Sometimes the causes and conditions come together where the heart can open easily. The mind can deepen easily. And we find ourselves in this position to really be here in the garden of our mind, the garden of our life. So today, before we step into some Zen readings, we can practice metta, loving kindness towards ourselves. So from this place of an open heart, a deep mind, a sincere mind, aware of the body, we can repeat together these phrases of loving kindness, these seeds that we place in our mind, in our life. So we're repeating after me as we plant these seeds of metta without discussion, without debate, without protest. We just to plant these seeds inside our own heart. Repeating after me. May I be at peace. May this body be at peace. May this mind be at peace. When difficulty arises, may I be at peace. When difficulty arises, may this body be at peace. When difficulty arises, may this mind be at peace. As we practice this metta, we can stay very close to our body, to our heart, to our breath. As we start to feel not only the words, not only the sincerity of these words, but the energy, the vibe of metta, of loving kindness towards ourselves. Repeating after me. May I be free from fear. May this body be free from fear. May this mind be free from fear. May I be happy and at peace. May I be happy and at peace. May this body be free from pain. May this mind be free from suffering. May I truly be healthy. May I truly be happy. May my mind be truly at peace. Sitting for a few moments with this energy of metta, this energy of friendliness towards ourselves. For some of us, we may benefit from repeating a few phrases, such as, may I be happy, may I be at peace. For some of us, we can simply breathe and feel that deep intentionality, that deep energy of loving kindness, friendliness towards our body and mind. Breathing and feeling this friendliness to ourselves. Not confused by it, not considering it, but really feeling that we offer friendliness to ourselves. Sometimes there might be factors in our lives that may seem to interfere with metta, or to kind of put a stick between metta and you. Just notice those, but continue generating, establishing this loving friendliness towards yourself without debate or anything secondary, but just really affirming, recognizing, planting these seeds of, may I be at peace. May I love myself deeply. May I be gentle, patient, and kind. When we plant seeds, we don't know when they are going to sprout. We don't know when they are going to bear fruit. We simply plant them in a fertile soil with our heart, with our body, with our sincerity, with our gentleness. We plant these seeds of loving kindness towards this body, this mind. Breathing in deeply, we can feel those seeds placed in the soft soil of our open hearts. Breathing out, we can let go and relax, those seeds being firmly planted. repeating after me, directing this loving kindness to this heart, to this body, to this mind. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May I be well, happy, and peaceful. May I be full of joy. May I overcome all difficulties. May I be free from all fear. May I feel love. In each moment, in every breath, may I feel love. May it be so. May it be so. May it really be so. So making sure that you are comfortable and feeling this sense of loving kindness toward yourself, a gentleness, a sweetness, a softness. We will listen to some Zen teachings this evening. And as we practice, we notice distractions, we notice difficulties, but we also notice our ability to not be in such a state of reactivity. Yeah, we just notice, we're aware, but there's not this urgency to react. We feel a certain emotion, we feel a certain frustration, a rage. Rather than tearing the house down, making a mess, We just notice it. And over time, it becomes so evidently clear that we don't need to react to every little thought or emotion that we have, but instead we can actually relax to every little thought, every emotion that we have. It's quite liberating to approach it that way. Sometimes those frustrating noises or sounds can actually become pleasurable. If we listen to them long enough, if we change our way of listening, and then this thing that moments ago was agitating, unpleasant, bitter, becomes this kind of brook, bubbling brook, stream that's just so pleasant and sweet and can even give pleasure to the whole body, something that was before so frustrating and annoying. So these are a few words on realization, and we can listen to them and practice. Words about Zen, words about this awakening mind, this peace transformation mind at this moment, clear seeing. Zen is not a conception. Zen is not something that we form an idea of. If you set up an idea of it, you turn away from the source. So, what is this source? This spring from which all of our experiences arise from and pass away to. When we look up at the stars at night, so much space, so much brightness, so much light, what are we really seeing? And who is seeing? What is seeing? A great master has said, the seeing is real, but that which is seen is not. So what is this seeing? How is it that we can bring this seeing more and more into our not turning away from the source? The way, the path of peace, realization, enlightenment itself, is beyond cultivated effects. If you set up accomplishment you lose the essence. When we come here to practice together, there's no accomplishment, there's no goal. It's not a time for playing a game, getting to an objective, trying to fix, trying to solve. It's a space and a time where fixing and solving fall away completely. See for yourself. Don't rely on anyone else's interpretation, anyone else's understanding, but see for yourself what is happening right now. Plunge boldly into the beyond. Then be free wherever you are. So we don't have to be so afraid. As long as we don't set up these contrived, complicated, convoluted notions, ideas, stories about what's happening. Instead, to plunge boldly into the beyond, to be free wherever we are. Letting go of all objects and letting all things rest is the foremost technique, the highest technique. But if you stick to this technique, it is not right. We couldn't hold on to anything. We couldn't hold on to the body. We couldn't hold on to the mind. How much less so some meditation technique. People see others in terms of themselves. If you are ambitious, that is the way you see others. If you are greedy, you see others in terms of desire. There is no Buddha, there is no awakening, there is no enlightenment outside your heart. Always keep a pure, clean heart. It is only necessary to see and hear directly. If you actually manage to see your basic mind, you must treat it as if you were raising an infant. So soft, so precious, so gentle, so slow. To step into infancy and to be the caretaker of it. although their fundamental essence is the same, awakened people turn inward, while emotional and intellectual people pursue externals. To be with, at this moment, the normal, ordinary mind. A sense of dissatisfaction, a sense of difficulty, a sense of pleasantness, all contained within this normal, ordinary mind. Breathing and being aware, unobstructed by obstructions, unconfused by confusion. Just to be aware of the breath as it flows in and flows out. Just to be aware of the body sitting here, breathing and being aware. There's a richness, a wonderfulness, a joyousness in really being with it without any judgment. Just to notice and be aware. Allow the body to be the body, the mind to be the mind, breathing to be the breathing, hearing to be the hearing. No interference, no boundaries. Plunge boldly into the beyond. Be free wherever you are. So today we will wrap up our gathering with a few words of metta, and then I will chant the Metta Sutta in one of the original ways that I was taught to chant it. Um, so we'll do that together. I invite everyone to bring their hands together. And first we will say the words in English, and then I will chant them in traditional Buddhist language. Repeating after me. May I be free from ill will and danger. We can take a deep breath with each one of these seeds that we plant. May I be free from mental suffering. May I be free from physical suffering. May I take care of myself happily. May all beings be free from ill will and danger. May all beings be free from mental suffering. May all beings be free from physical suffering. May all beings take care of themselves happily. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. May it be so. May it be so. May it really be so. Sukhiyatanam pariharami Sabe sata avera hontu. Avya paja hontu. Aniga hontu. Sukiyatanam pariharantu. Sukhita hota. Dukkha muccata. Everyone's welcome to chant sadhu with me as we finish. Sadhu. 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 Okay. Thank you for joining, everyone. Hopefully see you all again soon. Take care, be happy. Go slow and gently into the rest of your day, evening, morning, life, and see you soon. Take care.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank you, Bante. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Bante. Thank you all.